Hi, it is 2 years later. I made a couple videos for Signal Boost, and then my life changed, and in a really good way. And I've been doing a lot for the last couple of years, and even though I abandoned Signal Boost basically before it had a chance to really launch, I've found myself wanting to come back to it. Um, I'm not sure where to start. Maybe I'll go backwards. Um, so I'll start with right now. I have crazy long hair because I haven't gotten a haircut since the pandemic started. And I really don't have a whole lot of time to just kind of leave the house and go get a haircut anyway because kids are always home. We're not going anywhere. And there's always a crazy amount of stuff to do here. Um, so, anyway, got super long hair. But I have been working from home for months now, really, all the way through. I think we went home in March and it's November. So I've been home through late spring, all the way through the summer and in fall. And, a stressful election, kids being, I have two who are in online school. And so I'm supervising them and helping them while I'm working from home full time. And I, it's just an incredibly tough, stressful time to go through as a community, um, as a country, as a neighborhood, my little neighborhood here. And like a lot of other people, I kind of just started wearing sweatpants and wasn't putting on makeup. I wasn't going to the eye doctor, so I didn't have my contacts. I just had my old, like, sort of Walmart glasses that I've had for years. And I found that I wasn't washing my face at the end of the day. Like a lot of us, I wasn't really showering all that much. And it was okay for a while, but after a while, I started to not feel like myself. And I don't have any moralistic standards for anybody else on how often they should do various things. I certainly don't think that anybody has to wear makeup that doesn't want to. It's absolutely voluntary. But I started getting into a space where I was missing the creativity of makeup. I was missing the routine of skincare. I was missing those few moments a day. I mean, I'm never alone. I'm alone right now because I have one kid asleep and another couple people in my family outside, and I will probably be interrupted at any moment here. But somehow, when I do skincare and makeup, I can kind of get into a zone, a kind of space that even if somebody comes in and interrupts, I still am having that very aesthetic, very sensory experience with makeup and with skincare. And um, I find that it's really improving my mental health. It's really giving me something that's very sensory, very, um, it's a form of self love. And I know that's a cliche at this point, but it really, for me, it's been true. So I've been doing that for a couple of months, and it started out honestly as me recognizing that I wasn't washing my face every night, and I wasn't wearing sunscreen either, which is bad because you should wear it anyway, even if you're spending most of the day inside. Um, but my skin was suffering for it. I was just getting sort of dull, rough skin, and so I thought, oh, maybe if I put on a little makeup, it'll encourage me to wash my face. Well, lo and behold, I remembered how much I enjoyed putting on makeup and just experimenting with color and watching my face transform from, the kind of base state to something different. And anyway, so that's how I kind of started getting back into makeup recently. And I still have a lot of products left over from when I was doing the Signal Boost project. And I also continue to purchase products from companies owned by people of color. And that's still something that I'm very committed to. I do have a couple of products that are just kind of fill ins from products that I wasn't able to get or products that I needed to purchase when I was like traveling before the pandemic and realized I didn't have something. Um, but it's a project that I'm still committed to as a person. And, but I was thinking lately about how much I not only enjoy makeup, but I enjoy making videos. And I ended up watching those couple of videos that I had recorded 2 years ago and remembering how much I enjoyed it and how much even though I didn't really have an audience yet, I was really enjoying reaching out to a theoretical audience and just the thought of connecting with people was really, really kind of spoke to me through time. um, so I, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I I had kind of a rougher patch. I mean, this whole patch is rough. Let's be honest. All of us are going through some level of difficulty. I'm sorry if my neck looks weird. I'm kind of like leaning against my pillow. um, and it was before election results came out. Everything was super stressful, and I have some money saved up, and I'm saving it for plants. Because I have big plans to convert my whole backyard to going grass free, lawn free, and doing all native plantings to be better for the earth and for the creatures that live in it. But anyway, so I have this money kind of socked away a little bit. And I had a moment of immoderation. And I've been very thrifty when it comes to makeup. I have a very strict budget. But I had a moment where that kind of left me. And I ordered a bunch of stuff. And I thought, this is an opportunity. When I receive it, I could do some unboxing, I can do some demonstration. And I think, well, a couple of things. I think for this kind of relaunching of something that was barely launched before of Signal Boost, I want to do a couple of things differently. One is that I would like to expand my definition of companies owned by people of color. I think it was very African American focused when I started, and African American Latino focused. But I've since been thinking a lot about the importance of immigrants and first generation people, Asian Americans, um, people who identify with ethnicities that are sort of outside of the Western European, been here since before the United States kind of became the United States, but not as long as American Indians and slash Native Americans. But anyway, I would like to expand the kind of the tent that I'm making for putting my money in places where I think it will do some good. Supporting people who, kind of transferring that money from a white pocket to a brown pocket, or a long-time multi-generational citizen, I guess, family to an immigrant family or first-generation family. I hear doors. I think I might be about to be interrupted. I'm going to pause. So, one of the reasons that I'm expanding that kind of tent, that list of criteria for Signal Boost, is what I've been doing for the last 2 years. And essentially what happened to me is that I moved out of my midlife crisis and found a purpose. And it's not something I expected. I never thought I would be an activist. I didn't think that that was a gift that I had, or a set of gifts that I had. I always thought that my job was to kind of support activists. But after the 2016 election, I, like a lot of us, was in such distress about what was happening and what the next 4 years would probably mean. And I found that narrowing my intervention, or my area of concern, to one thing was the best way to manage how I saw my responsibility and how I felt about what was happening. So anyway, I chose immigration, and I chose it because my most deeply held social value is community. And through my life, I've had a number of situations where, and I won't get into the details, but I've had situations where I've been in community and the safety of that community has been shattered for me. And those were deeply painful and distressing times for me. They really challenged my sense of worth. They challenged my sense of stability. And I also, when I was growing up, I'm 43, so I was born in 1977. And when I was a little girl, we lived in rural Illinois, and that was a time when there were a lot of Vietnamese and Cambodian refugees who were resettled in the United States with the support of and help of the American government, which is very different from the last 4 years. And my family was very involved in being supportive of those immigrants. And I remember riding in the car with women who needed a ride to the fabric store. My mother would take them, and that was just normal for us when I was growing up. Even though I was in rural Illinois, a very white place, I grew up with a sense that everyone is part of the community, all human beings in our vicinity, right? And really through the world. But when I was a little girl, this was just a normal thing, right? People came from another country, so they go to the fabric store with us. That was normal. And so all of this nasty rhetoric coming out about immigration and really immigration policies over the last couple of decades, even under Democratic presidents. Let's be very clear. Anyway, I really connect with a sense of the sacredness and importance of community, and what happens when that sense of community is lacking, and how it tears at people. It tears at the people in the communities that reject others, that don't make a place for them. And I was involved with another organization called the Center for Worker Justice. And the Center for Worker Justice, the members are all low-wage workers. And a lot of those people are immigrants. And I am what's known as an ally. So I am not a member, but I support the members through action and through collaboration, and the members set the agenda and run the center. And anyway, there was an immigration committee, and out of that grew a need for visitation for people who are detained by ICE for no crime, but for not having documentation that government deems necessary to be treated as a free human being within our borders. So anyway, I had been in this midlife crisis where I just didn't know what I was doing. I have a wonderful paid job I work with great people, and I work for like an ethical, mission-driven company, but it's not like work that makes me want to wake up and be raring to go. It's not the best use of my gifts, and I was feeling really bummed about that, but also really conflicted because I'm really lucky to be employed and be flexibly employed and make a good salary and all that sort of thing. Anyway, but this opportunity came up, and this is the kind of thing where there were lots of people who were interested in being in the group, but nobody wanted to be in charge. And so my friend called me, a wonderful activist in town here, and that's what she said to me. She said, lots of people want to do this. Nobody wants to be in charge. Do you want to be in charge? Now, I've been part of nonprofit organizations, but first of all, I never thought I would be an activist, ever. I thought that I just didn't have the right skill sets for that. And I think it's because I had the wrong idea of what an activist is. And anyway, I don't want to ramble on, but the point is, she called me, she asked if I could do it. My first thought was, I have no time to do this. I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids. I have a full life. I'm not, I have limitations like everybody else. I get tired. I'm not a superwoman by any stretch of the imagination. I am not that person who in the obituary says, that she had it all, she did it all. I'm just not that. So, but my second thought was, I really want to do this. Because not only is it an issue that's close to my heart, but it's those are muscles that I want to try out, that I want to flex, and I want to just see where this takes me. And it turns out I love it. I love being an executive director. I love holding meetings where I'm hearing the work that everybody is doing in the organization, helping organize, who does what, and helping us keep within the scope of our vision, keep us focused on the mission. I love reporting to a board. It has been the greatest blessing of my life, aside from, my children and my garden. It moved me out of my midlife crisis. I mean, I don't get paid for it. It's a voluntary position. I don't have time for it. I do it anyway. I don't do as much as I'd like to do. It's going a lot more slowly than I'd like it to. And I probably don't have time to do videos anyway, but I'm going to do them. So anyway, back to makeup. I was going through this difficult time a couple of weeks ago when, until many of us sighed a big sigh of relief, I just ordered a bunch of stuff. So I thought it would be a good opportunity just to do something fun for myself that maybe if anybody ever watches this, I could encourage people to buy some of these things too. I mentioned there were 2 changes. 1, widening the tent. And number 2, I don't intend to offer traditional reviews. I'm not going to recommend something or not recommend something. I'm just going to tell you about my experience of the product. So for instance, I have one eyeshadow palette. Maybe I'll do a video about it. It's not new at all. But I have one eyeshadow palette that just has a tremendous amount of fallout. when it's dry, and it works beautifully when it's wet. I'm not going to tell you not to buy that palette because you know what? I've had it for a couple of years. I love it. I just use it wet. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of, sort of like a thumbs up or thumbs down, I'm just going to tell you how it performs and how to work with it because really, I mean, the thing about makeup is that unless you are getting like that makeup with zero pigment that you get that's made for like, I don't know, 5-year-old, little 5-year-old, like marketed towards girls, right? That it's just nothing, right? Most makeup, you can make it work. You can add water, you can add mixing medium. There are things you can do with it. Higher end products, better performing products are just easier to use. So, anyway, I mean, I don't intend to buy stuff that I know is going to be awful, right? But I'm also not going to tell you, don't buy this. This is horrible because that's not the point of Signal Boost. I want to introduce you to products that I'm experiencing and just let you know what my experience is of them, and hopefully you'll want to go out and try some of it if that's the, and I might say things like, this is probably better for a more experienced person who's been doing makeup for a while, or this, like this eyeshadow palette, it's a wet dry palette. I think it works better wet, right? Or this liquid lipstick is, if you have dry lips, not a great idea. Beautiful color, right? Anyway, so that's the second change. First change, wider tent. Second change, more introduction, less reviews. Probably more tutorial type stuff where I just talk about how I put on my face. So anyway, yeah, I ordered this stuff. I ordered some Patra Ta, who is an Asian American makeup artist who is wonderfully known in the beauty community and has come out with some just like beautiful looking products. So I ordered some stuff from him, something from Fenty, and I just realized that Huda Kattan is Iranian American and is a first generation Iraqi American. I think she lives in Dubai now for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, I think I'm going to order some of her stuff soon. I also ordered some makeup by Mario. Mario is a first generation person who grew up in New York, and I'm really excited about his stuff too. And honestly, I've forgotten some stuff that I've ordered because that was what kind of period of time we're in. So I thought it was just a good opportunity to do some sort of unboxing and first impressions, and I can show you some stuff I already have that I've been using for these past couple of years. My Danessa Myricks Evolution powder, that's my setting powder. Her mixing medium. I'm using a Reina Rebelda palette that I am really loving. I've got some Pat McGrath that I got for Christmas last year. A little palette of hers and a couple lipsticks. Oh, and I have some lipsticks coming too, I think. Like I said, I don't remember. Anyway, we'll just see where this goes. I hope some people watch. It would be really nice to reach a few of you. But if you're watching this, I hope you're well. I hope you find something that makes you feel good and helps you get through this time. Doesn't have to be makeup, it can be something else, but I wish you that, and I wish you peace. Good night.